Happy holidays. Thanks for everyone attending the second installment of the Inside AEC webinar series. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ryan Labus, Business Development Manager for Pro Engineering. We're a full service mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering firm out of Carlsbad. And the purpose of our monthly webinar series is to help AEC professionals improve their careers, their lives, learning directly from industry thought leaders on how to best capitalize on emerging trends, new technologies, and market changes. Today we have a special guest speaker, also from Carlsbad, Tayab Ali of AlphaBold and BuildFitters. And the backstory is I initially connected with Tayab at a seminar in San Diego, where he was speaking about the impact of artificial intelligence on the construction industry amongst some of the larger developers and architectural firms in the area, with the Building Industry Association. And I really felt that having him come on our webinar would potentially provide a lot of valuable insights to some of the small to medium-sized firms out there that we work with. Since I know it's hard to get access to this kind of information sometimes, and take time out of your day to go listen to people like Tab speak at these seminars. So without further ado, Tab, you want to just jump right into it and tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sounds good. If you could please move on to the next slide. Ryan, can you please transition it to the next slide?
Trish, can you please do that?
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me join this series on streamlining design and construction processes with AI. A little bit about myself. I am I'm a software engineer. I have a master's degree in artificial intelligence. But I think where the two paths converge for us is primarily I've been working in the AEC space, architecture, engineering, and construction space for the last 10 plus years, building different solutions for different AEC companies. And when I started in the AEC space, I was just focused on process automation and at times just digitization, where there was a lot of paperwork and we were trying to bring in systems so that the information could be digitized, could be entered into a software system rather than being maintained on a piece of paper. And then from there, the idea was that we could automate some of these processes. And as we automated those processes, we were able to achieve high levels of efficiency across the process automation side of things. And today we are trying to incorporate artificial intelligence into some of those systems as well. Originally, I did a lot of this consulting as an independent consultant, then with some organizations as well. But right now I'm working with AlphaBold as the VP of Consulting Services. So that's just a little bit about myself, my exposure to technology. I am a technology geek at heart, but I love AEC industry. I feel that there's tons of potential in the AEC industry. So we can use that potential and the technology, marrying that potential so that we could get the best out of technology in this industry. If you could please go to the next slide. So this is about AlphaBold. At AlphaBold, we are trying to build a community where we want to be industry experts, and we also want different businesses within that industry, in this case AEC, to come together and learn from each other's experiences. And what we are also trying to do is to achieve some best practices across different industries and then be able to relay those best practices onto other businesses. Like I said in the previous slide, on the AEC side, we are not necessarily at the cutting edge side of things when it comes to technology. So the fact that AlphaBold has exposure to that industry and different AEC customers We have different customers, partners, vendors who can benefit from the AlphaBold experience, and they can get the best out of what technology has to offer. AlphaBolt specializes in AEC and has a packaged platform called BuildFitters. You guys can go on buildfitters.com, buildfitters.com, and you can access the website that focuses just on the AEC industry. At AlphaBold, we are business technology advisors, so we don't just build solutions. We also try to understand your business processes, work with you to see how they can change as the business is evolving and as the technology solutions are available. And then once those processes could be optimized, we can map those onto softwares. And we have chosen a set of platforms and technologies which we kind of are more aligning with Microsoft on the technology side of things, only because we feel that Microsoft has the right mindset when it comes to innovation from the technology standpoint and has a huge investment in some of the latest trends such as IoT, AI, Gen AI, and they are incorporating a lot of those features into their technology stack. And AlphaBolt wants to leverage that to be able to provide the best of the breed technology to the AEC industry. That's kind of what we are doing. And then we're doing a lot of digital transformation for our customers in the AEC space. If you could please move on to the next slide. So this is an intro on BuildFitters. BuildFitters, and I'll show you some of these modules in a second. But like I mentioned before, it's more of a platform than a solution. It spans across different areas within the construction project life cycle. So it goes from pre-construction to post-construction, and then it has multiple apps. So for example, you can see it has a sales management app, it does opportunity management on the sales side of things. It has a full-fledged project management module, which allows project managers, be it in pre-construction as pre-construction directors, or at the stage of project execution in terms of managing the project, they can use that project management module and they can leverage that to manage the project, maintain all the artifacts and relationships in context of the project, be it with external vendors, be it with subcontractors, and it depends upon your role within the project management lifecycle. So it's a fit for different roles. You could be an owner, you could be a general contractor, you could be a subspecialty contractor, you could be a subcontractor. Everybody can use BuildFitters and benefit from the different modules that it has to offer. It also has a collaborative module because collaboration is a huge challenge in this industry. And then it also allows you to manage the inventory piece of things. Over and above that, for the field agents who are out there in the field and who are trying to manage their time, work with the project managers, the foremen, the journeymen, the apprentice, they can also use BuildFitters and they can use that for tracking their time and logging their hours. So that's just a little bit of an overview. Any questions, Ryan or Trish, for me so far?
None so far. No, I think we're just looking forward to the concrete examples and maybe examples of and case studies that you've brought and just delving into really the role when it comes to the design and construction processes.
Awesome. Okay, then we can go to the next slide, please. All right. So what I'll do now is I'll share my screen. I want to just quickly give you an overview of what BuildFitter has to offer. So just let me do that. So what you see on your screen is just the breakdown of the platform. I kind of described that on a very high level in the previous slide, but here you can see that we have the sales vertical, we have the pre-construction vertical, and we have the construction vertical. And within design and construction, it goes through all of these and provides different feature sets. So for example, you can see that within the space of project management, you have a lot that is happening in the pre-construction and the construction space. So you can do your dailies, you can do your timesheets, You can do your change orders, submittals, and RFIs. You can do your purchase orders. The whole vendor management piece is also part of BuildFitters. You have an app which is called Supplier Relationship Management app. So you can manage your suppliers through that app. And I'll come to the AI aspect of all of that in a second as well. But sorry about that. But it allows you to kind of just manage all of those different modules and be on top of your project across those different modules. Then it also has a sales piece. So the whole idea of BuildFitters is that it's all one connected platform. So when you are working, you have your business development managers or your back office team that receives your phone calls. You guys can work on those leads and then start working on the bidding process. And as you are creating your estimates and proposals, first of all, the platform automates that. And through that automation, then it allows you to move on to the pre-construction phase where you get everything carried over from sales to pre-construction. And from there, you have the construction phase where you can play with all of this information and it's available to you in one unified platform rather than disparate systems, disconnected, siloed, which is mostly the case for lots of softwares that are available in the AEC space. Another big, huge advantage of BuildFitters is you see here, it is built upon familiar platform from Microsoft. So it's built upon Power Platform. It is built upon Dynamics 365. For those of you who are not familiar with D365, it's state-of-the-art Microsoft platform for process automation, managing projects, project accounting. So all of those features are available, and then you have collaboration through Teams. And what it also has, it has SharePoint-based document management, so you can store and manage your documents in there. What I also want to show you is that from the process standpoint, in the design and construction space, it allows you to manage your project, collaborate, vendor qualification, bidding. It does document creation and document management, and there are two, for me at least, distinct functions. The reason for that is that within this space, we struggle, first of all, with document creation. The problem with document creation is that mostly we don't have a quick and easy way of generating documents because a lot of the information being collected is on paper. Even if it is in the system, it could be in a disjointed system, so it doesn't make it into a nicely formatted deliverable that could be automatically generated. So the first thing BuildFitters does is it allows you to generate those documents. And secondly, and equally important, it allows you to store those documents as well. And I'll showcase some of that to you in a second. And then it allows you to have executive dashboards. It has a huge layer of Power BI on top of it where you can see nicely formatted documents as well as dashboards, transforming your data into meaningful information. Now, these dashboards, they are in BuildFitters, but you can also use it with other systems that you might have. And then I already covered the fact that it goes through sales, pre-construction, construction, and post-construction. And it has an analytics layer, a field operations layer, a project management layer, accounting, and vendor/supplier management apps. So with that, let me just give you a quick overview glimpse of the look and feel of this platform as to how BuildFitters looks. So let me just bring this up in here. Ryan, you guys can still see my screen, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to start with Power BI just because I want to showcase the dashboarding piece of it. The reason for me showcasing this primarily is because, like I mentioned, it allows you to bring in information from different systems, and it also allows you to be able to monitor information from other systems. So even if you don't want to get onboarded onto BuildFitters, let's say you have some systems where you are doing submittals, you can build dashboards like this to see tracking of different submittals across your system. So for example, you can see in here, it's telling me my due dates on submittals, how many are approved, rejected, revised, and I can go in and I can also see an Excel-based view of all the submittals that I have in the system. So I can see and I can then track different statuses around that.
And that's even if they're coming from different platforms. So if the medium for delivery is through, let's just say Procore, you'll still um, be able to view it in one central location.
Absolutely. So even if you are through Procore, we can pull that data from Procore and then just use that for reporting within our Power BI platform that you see up here. So understand that I kind of try to focus on the fact that this is a platform. So there are pieces of it that are put together in context of this demo, but all of these are also standalone features. So I can, for example, use this Power BI dashboard that gives me my resource breakdown by project. And let's say if I'm not using project management within BuildFitters, and I'm say using Procore for that, I can pull that data and still be able to do reporting of that data. And that's a huge plus of this platform. Okay. So this is just the BI piece of it. I'm going to show you the project management piece of this as well. So I can have detailed project management. I'm going to open up one of the projects in the platform. Give it a second. So you can see here, I have some traceability on the project. It's telling me it's a design build project. I can track my contract, my bid to. I can track my team, both internal, external, and field team. So you can see I have 3 teams here. I can come in and I can quickly specify the team members. I have a detailed project schedule that allows me to, if I full screen it, to just create quickly my project schedule. I can templatize it, I can save it, I can assign it to different resources. I can bring in all that information. It has a procurement module, so I can specify what type of materials I need, which are the vendors that I'm going to shortlist. It has a vendor shortlisting mechanism. So once I use this app, and I'll show it to you. It's called my vendor pre-qualification app. I can come in here and I can say which materials I want to choose my vendors for, and whichever material I choose. So for example, let's say as per this estimate, you can see at the back and I need wood and I need some drywall. So I say, okay, I need 32 square feet drywall sheets, and it's telling me that this is one vendor that is in your platform, which offers this. So I can select that and I hit this check button, and it will automatically do my vendor selection for me. And it will put all the selected vendors in this vendor list. Like you can see, Vectel is up in here. And then I can generate my purchase orders with these vendors. So here I'll see then all the purchase orders that I have against these vendors. So it's end-to-end generation of the content and managing the content. I talked about document management, so I can go in here and I can click on documents, and within this platform, you'll be able to see all the documents that you are creating in context of this project. So for example, you can see I have all these folders and I can have a preset formatted folder hierarchy that will load in here, and then users can just go and specify upload the folders into specific folders. Or if I generate documents, for example, if I say generate my request for proposals for all the vendors I have, it automatically saves them in the request for proposal folder.
Now,
So
would this work with purchasing and estimating if you needed to kind of put your takeoffs in there and then you can look at which vendors and the price of materials, and that could help you formulate a bid as well as help with purchasing?
exactly. So for example, if I go into my procurement, my original bid that is part of my sales process kind of get incorporated in here. So for example, you can see I have these different aspects of my bid and I can then get RFPs from it. But if I go in here and I go to the contract, I'll show you that I have my original estimate that where I was doing the takeoff and I was getting all the details from different vendors to get my takeoff in place. All of that is incorporated in here as well. So this is linked to my project, as you can see. And if I go into the details in here, I'll show you that this is my original estimate. And if I open it up, you can see the breakdown, and you can see this breakdown by through my estimation details. So for example, if I go in here, I can see material, labor, subcontractor, equipment, and I can go through this in different ways. So if I change the layout of this, now you see it shows me a breakdown by material, equipment, labor, service, and at this subcontractor level, I can have all of my requests for proposals coming in, and I can then put that information in here so that I could finalize my takeoff that then becomes a project. So this is obviously done prior to getting to the project, and I was showing you the project, but in context of your question, Ryan, I'm kind of going back in time and showing how you get to the project in this platform. Did I
Mhm.
answer your question?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect. So this has this module. This is the project management piece, as you can see up in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and I'm going to show you here. This is the sales piece. And again, just like you saw dashboards on the project side, you also have dashboards on the lead analytics. So I can see what kind of information I have in the platform for leads. I can go in here, I can see information on my opportunity management. And this is where your bids come into play. So if you have multiple bids against a single opportunity, it just allows you to track all of that information as well. As you can see, this is one opportunity, but it is linked to multiple bids in here. And you can have a base bid and an option, so on and so forth. And this just allows you to track your opportunities. And this is where you would mostly be doing your estimation and takeoff. So for example, if I open up an opportunity in here, you will see there's like a bidding section in here. So let it load for a second. Yeah, and as I go to the bid, this is where it has the breakdown of each of the bid and different vendors, and you can have photo gallery view for all the snapshots and the photos that you are taking as you're visiting on site and so on and so forth. So this is just the sales module, and then it has a supplier relationship management app, and we'll talk more about that in context of AI as well. But this is just to give you an overview of different modules that are part of BuilDFitters and the look and feel of it. And there's a lot of focus on ease of use in it. So you will see that it's very clean and open interface so that information could be easily organized and progress could be made on different facets of estimation, bidding, from there, taking the takeoff, doing it, going from pre-construction to construction and managing the project. And then in the project management, I showed you all those features that I showcased as well. So that's just a quick overview. I'll hand it back to you, Trish. You could share your screen and we can go to the next slide. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
No, no questions at this time. I mean, we're kind of waiting for the end for Q&A, but if anyone in the in the audience has any questions along the way, also feel free to drop them in the Q&A section down at the bottom by chat. Trish, can we get back to the deck, please? Thanks.
It's loading right now, but I'm trying. Hold on,
Grabe
please bear with
naman.
me.
There we go.
All
Yeah,
right.
so looking ahead, I guess we'll just say tab if you want, I'll let you take back over, but I think we just want to dive a little bit more into how we can see kind of the landscape um, of AI evolving when it comes to design and just decision making as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I can jump onto the AI side of things, which is I think the core piece of our session today. So when we talk about the role of AI in design and construction, it's evolving and it's evolving really, really fast. It's being used already in a lot of different aspects of design and construction for process efficiency, for automations, and there are some aspects of it that are incorporated into BuilDFitters as well. What I'll do is I can just give you a quick overview of AI in design and construction, and then we can talk more about how BuilDFitters is using that as well. So if you take like some high level examples of where you would see AI in motion, or you should see it at least making an impact within design and construction, one of those would be generative design. Now that's a huge field within AI, and AI is being used in generative design for creating multiple design options with specified parameters. And AI can generate automatically those options so that the designers don't have to do that. And that helps the architects and the engineers explore a wide range of possibilities and optimize their design. And it obviously reduces costs, but it allows them to try out different materials. It is huge from the sustainability standpoint as well. So when you're looking at the design from the sustainability perspective as to what design can minimize energy consumption and so on and so forth, you can use AI in generative design and create multiple iterations and test it out. That's just one area in which it is being used uh, a lot. Then predictive analytics. And just so for some of the audience, when we talk about predictive analytics, essentially what it means is AI can be used, and it's irrespective of the AEC industry. AI can be used to look at the historical data and based on that predict the future data, right? So for example, if we think about AEC industry, I can look at my historical projects and I can predict potential issues or delays in my future projects. Specifically, if I have certain vendors who are involved, I have certain suppliers who are involved, if there is specification for a certain material to be used and there are not many vendors or suppliers who provide that, then I can use predictive analytics to be able to do that. So generative design, predictive analytics, AI has been used extensively in BIM softwares as well. One of the examples that I think I've talked to you about in the past, Ryan, is clash detection. It is also being used in quantity takeoffs. This helps tremendously in improving collaboration between stakeholders, right? So BIM is another huge use case of AI usage within the AEC space. Of course, project scheduling and construction management and automation is a huge space for this as well. All your resource allocation, your timelines on different projects, they can be optimized through AI algorithms, your construction automation where you have drones and robots being used for site surveys and inspections. That's a huge application of AI as well. I already talked about sustainability, energy efficient buildings. There's a huge focus on that. There's
Mhm.
tons of government investment in that as well. So for those of you who are working in sustainability, there are lots of applications of AI around that. And then obviously AI is also being used in quality control. So you can do image recognition through AI, and then you can review those images that can be used for quality control purposes, detecting defects or deviations from the design specifications.
Mhm.
So all of those are just generic examples that I give. Any questions on those before I come to some specifics within BuildFitters that I can share with you guys?
I think an interesting point is the one with the historic data. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and like a real life example might be developer or a general contractor or subcontractor um, is using the platform and they're able to see, let's just say, a potential change order before it's coming. Maybe it's a specific material is called out um, on on the building, and they notice that every time they've run into that type of situation, it resulted in a material change or a change order. Um, I guess it could work also for the engineers as well if they're getting feedback from the contractors every time that they design it a certain way, it results in a change out in the field. And there's obviously a cost associated with that. Is that kind of in layman's terms what you were describing?
That is 100% spot on. The example that you gave is great. I can probably give a few more examples. Within BuildFitters, for example, you have a supplier relationship management app, right? Where you can manage your suppliers across different projects. So let's say if you're a big organization like Bechtel and you have a team that manages your suppliers, or even if you don't have a dedicated team for that, you would love to know which suppliers are being used across different business units in the organization. You would love to know what's the impact of those different suppliers, what the pricing that is being provided by different suppliers for in different business units. And most importantly, leveraging AI what you can do is you can do what I was referring to as predictive analytics. So let's say if there is a delay by one supplier in one project, you can leverage AI to be able to inform that this is the impact that it would have on the other projects. It could be a timeline impact, it could be just delay in the materials without any impact on the timeline, but AI can be used to highlight that impact. Now, that's just a very specific example in context of suppliers and their impact on different projects. Because you have all that data correlated, if you are able to measure impact of supplier leveraging AI on one project, you can correlate that to the other projects as well. But an easier example, just to add to what you were saying, Ryan, if there is a delay in a project, and it could be based on certain materials that because of shortfall in production. For example, we have seen recently that some of the electric equipment that is used in cars, some of the chips, because of the shortage of silicon, there has been huge delays in production. AI can predict those delays. AI can also be used for forecasting. For example, it can look at your historical sales data and very simple regression sales forecasting AI-based algorithms can predict your sales forecast, and especially when you have disruption in market, which we have seen ever since COVID, then the gut feel methods of doing forecasting are less predictable, and that's where AI can help because it can take into consideration some of the other parameters that we might not take into consideration otherwise. So those are just some examples of how AI can help us with different processes and can be used within design and construction.
Yeah, definitely some valuable stuff. I think it's applicable on a large scale and also a small scale as well. Just,
Sure.
are we, Trish, can we get to the next slide? There we go.
Awesome. Yeah. So this one is more about design decisions within AI insights through collaboration and coordination. So, which is kind of probably we are building upon the stage we have set in the previous slides. So in the previous slide, for example, I shared with you that we can use AI in generative design. And in this case, maybe I can just probably give you a quick example of that, right? So if I'm using AI in generative design, I can optimize the distribution of materials within a structure, and that can ensure that the material is used efficiently to meet structure and performance requirements. And an example that I can share with you is, I think it was Autodesk that collaborated with Boeing because they wanted to do an air cabin for one of their aircrafts. And mostly what they will have to do is they would do multiple iterations of it, but through generative design, they were able to keep certain constraints like weight, for example, and they were able to reduce some of the size of that air cabin, for example, and they were able to relay that and how it connected with the lobby within the aircraft, and they were able to use that to be able to make some decisions and reduce the cost. And then that's just one example. Another example is we didn't talk about machine learning, but machine learning is essentially just a concept where machines can be fed data and they could learn based on that data. And you could have machine learning algorithms that could learn based on iterative design processes, and they can incorporate feedback from the design so that the process could be optimized towards better performance solutions. So that is huge as well. That helps a lot on the decision-making side of things because rather than you making decisions on the fly, you're using the historical design data to be able to feed it into a machine learning model. And these machine learning model, BuildFitters is a platform that is using Dynamics and Azure. So in BuildFitters, you can have these machine learning models deployed on Azure and you can feed that data, not just from BuildFitters, but again, I've tried to focus on this point from others platforms like Procore. And you can feed it into those machine learning models, and those machine learning models can learn and they can be in a position to be able to make decisions for you. Another important one, which is part of BuildFitters, an example that I would like to give you, within the AEC space, some of the engineering firms, a huge portion of a project allocation is having team members who would work on that project. And that usually is a combination of what are the skill sets required for a project. And most of these engineering firms, they have an employee database where they have these engineers with their skill sets and their certifications. And when a project is about to be kicked off, there's a process of selecting the right, even before the project is kicked off, when they are creating a bid for the project, they're trying to bid that, okay, here is our team that would be working on this project as an engineering firm, right? AI can come in handy there. What AI can do is, especially through Gen AI, generative AI, there are algorithms that are part of BuildFitters, and we are also using them in another platform called Bold HR. That is our HR system that we have built at AlphaBold, where you can take the project description and you can take the employee profile and you can create a match for it. And what that AI algorithm does, it gives you a score. And we're using Chat GPT for it. It gives you a score and says, okay, this engineer is going to be a 60% match based on the project description and then the skill set that this engineer has. Similarly, it can say 70% for another engineer. Based on that, you can have a priority list of all of your engineers in the system. And based on that, you can generate a proposal that is ready to be sent out as part of that. So those are
Okay.
just some examples of using AI to be able to help you with your decision making and not doing those decisions on your own and leveraging data and AI to make those decisions for you.
Okay, so it's not even only just for um, internal use. If you were a project manager, you're trying to assign tasks to your own staff. This could be used by a developer trying to select a contractor or select an architect or select an engineering firm that's best suited for the project. And if you've done several projects with them, I guess the historical data comes back into play um, where it can essentially just help them decide that firm A is better for this project than firm B based on the past. And there's, actual data to improve that rather than some of the maybe like personalized or qualitative kind of experiences that they've may have had previously.
100%. And all these examples that you use, Ryan, they are easy applications of AI. So this is just especially based on some of the Gen AI algorithms. It's just feeding some context data to your, say, large learning model, and then asking some of those questions, and it will automatically be able to provide you those results. So these are not a lot of effort, even if, say, let's say you don't want to get onboarded with BuildFitters, but there's not a lot of effort to incorporate some of that AI into some of your existing systems. As long as you have that data in a digital format, you should be able to leverage AI to help you with that decision making.
Mhm. I'm sure it may even help with sales for different firms as well. If if you're able to leverage that data to someone who doesn't have access with it, and that's kind of a way of improving or um, convincing your prospect of your success, not only just based on showing them the portfolio, but showing them the nitty-gritty details um, that
Yep,
come into play, like lack of change
100%.
orders, changes in timeline, things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think on the time we have 15 minutes, so maybe we should go to the next slide. All right, so real world applications, exploring the user experience offered by BuildFitters. So I showed you the interface of BuildFitters. The use of AI does not necessarily complicate the user experience. I just want to make sure that that is very clear. AI can just be incorporated into your existing UI. But in terms of strategies to encourage the widespread adoption, the first and foremost, everybody has to understand that AI is driven by data. If your organization does not have the systems that one, generate good data, two, store and maintain and keep the data structured, then you would always struggle with AI as well, and you won't be able to leverage benefits of AI. Why am I emphasizing this? Is because you are hearing a lot about AI and AI powered solutions, but you as an organization or an individual won't be able to benefit from it unless you're organizing your data within the organizations which you're part of. So that is first and foremost. And if you're not doing that, then even if you want to start leveraging AI next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you have to start on data organization today. You have to have systems where you could digitize some of that data, keep it well maintained, because otherwise it's going to be an uphill battle when you want to benefit from AI. So first thing I would say is streamlining your data creation and data storage, which is huge for adoption, widespread adoption of AI-powered solutions in your organization. The second one I would highly suggest is if you have systems that are on-prem, if you are storing data in Excel or on your file servers, try to think of strategies where you could start storing that data in the cloud. BuildFitters is a platform that is built totally on the cloud technologies and everything is stored in the cloud. But what it also allows you to do is to pull your data from your old systems and, like I mentioned, store it in the cloud. But if you don't have that in place today, you should start embracing cloud. Why? Because today we are building a lot of AI-based solutions based on data in the cloud. I see that in the future, there would be a lot of pre-built solutions available to you with platforms in the cloud. But if you're not on those platforms, then obviously your data is not available to those solutions. And AI solutions are only as good as the data that is fed to those systems. So that I would say is the second biggest barrier to adoption that you should focus on. Try to embrace cloud, try to have as much data stored on the cloud as you can. And then the third one I would say is just start playing with AI. You don't have to think of it as an end solution that would solve a problem for you, but some small use cases like Ryan and I were discussing, where let's say if you have a sales use case and you just want data to be used for some predictive analytics, or you just want AI being used in small kind of sub problems within your large project management or problem areas, you can just leverage those and you can start incorporating those in. In terms of measurable outcomes that we have seen with BuildFitters, so BuildFitters improves drastically your document and data management, leveraging AI as well as different aspects of BuildFitters that keep your data organized. We highly believe that project tracking within BuildFitters keeps your project more organized and reduces change orders and a lot of other pilferage that we have within the AEC space on the project management. It allows you to do effective collaboration because you have teams integration and you have people on the field who could talk to people in the back office. It has dashboards like I was showing you, which allow you to measure productivity of your employees as well as your subcontractors. And just that productivity and access to those reporting tools and dashboards just give you quick access to be able to make meaningful decisions. Whereas your organization, you can be more nimble and you can make changes quickly and be more productive across those different projects that you're executing upon. So those are just some examples of real world as well as some of I gave you 3 big points in terms of user adoption of AI powered solutions. If you could please go to the next slide.
Tab, do we want to maybe for the sake of time, um, call an audible and skip through to allow for some Q&A or
100%. I think we have only 10 minutes left, so I think we should probably see if we have any questions.
yeah, because I think some of the previous slides currently covered the challenges faced in implementing and then solutions through BuildFitters. So yeah, at this time, anyone of the attendees, do you have any questions, we'll just open it up for Q&A at this point. Let's see. All right, let's see.
We have one hand raised.
Yeah, let's see. We have a hand raised.
It's Chris.
Chris. Okay. Chris, you should be able to speak now.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for the webinar. It was very interesting. And Ryan, we had chatted last year about your engineering services. So I'm so glad I was on your mailing list. Just trying to understand at a high level, AlphaBolt and BuildFitters. Is BuildFitters leveraging the AlphaBolt platform, or how are those two pieces coming together?
Sure. Thank you so much for asking. So AlphaBolt is a consulting firm, and it provides consulting to different AEC companies for building different solutions for them. So we can build a project management solution, we can build a construction management solution, and so on and so forth. Over the years, Chris, we built a lot of solutions within the AEC industry that involved aspects of sales, pre-construction, construction, and when we go into the specifics, project management, bid management, resource management, dashboarding and reporting.
Okay.
What we did was we kind of converted all the IP that we had done in the AEC specific industry, and we put it on our website called buildfitters.com, which is just another website owned by AlphaBolt, which is specific for AEC industry. So BuildFitters is just us leveraging different platforms, Microsoft related platforms, for providing solutions to AEC customers. So that's the relationship between AlphaBolt and BuildFitters. BuildFitters, think of it as a niche platform that is built on top of Microsoft technology, which is specific to AEC industry.
Gotcha. Okay, okay. Thank you. I'm tracking now. And so it's sort of AlphaBolt's a consultant that is kind of pulling together multiple solutions depending on what you need, and BuildFitters is sort of the conglomeration of their basically most popular solutions integrated together for the A&E community.
Yeah, for AEC community, architecture, engineering, and construction specifically.
Okay, because
100%.
we're on the A&E side. We don't do the construction, and we're a Microsoft company.
Perfect. So if you are an architecture and engineering firm, 100% there are pieces within BuildFitters that would definitely relate to you, and we can definitely connect and see if you can benefit from some of those.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And yes, please, Ryan, do keep me on your mailing list. This is
Definitely, yeah.
really interesting.
Thank you for the feedback. We got a question from Art. Can this be used for reviewing plans before they go out to the city for comments, where we can get feedback to correct plans ahead of submission? So I guess a way we could phrase that was Tab, was maybe similar to the way I asked earlier, if it's using historical data to make predictions about like a change order or a delay in timeline in the field due to a subcontractor or vendor delay, or just is it also on the permitting side of things? Can it be utilized to pick up? So I guess it'd be more related to pre-construction. Is that kind of what you're asking, Art? Will it be able to pick up on whether or not the design will get submitted? I mean, will get approved, and what you might expect in delays when it comes to permitting in the pre-construction side?
So I let Art kind of respond to what you're saying, but
Yeah,
as far as the
yes.
platform is
Okay.
concerned, it's all of the above.
Okay.
So you can use it for a notification only. For example, it gives you a notification and says, hey, there's going to be a delay based on this. Plus, it can say, here is a risk based on this delay. Plus, it can say it can anticipate a delay in a project timeline, or it can anticipate a change order based on the design that already was submitted. If you guys paid attention when I was showing you example, I showed you an example of submittals, but I showed you statuses. It said submitted, approved, pre-approved. Those statuses you can have almost across any artifact in the platform. So because of those statuses, then you can track at what status it is sitting, and based on an event that happens, you can create a decision rule tree that says, okay, if this is the problem and it is not yet submitted, then make a change prior. But if it has been submitted, then it automatically can create a notification for a change order. So that's why I kept on emphasizing that BuildFitters is more of a platform. So it has this capability and the engine for you to be able to tweak it to your requirements. And that's kind of how it functions. Did I
Gotcha.
answer your question, Ryan?
I think so. Art, I want to make sure it answered your question. Yes. Okay, great. And then we got another question here from Brian. Can this be used by engineers for cost estimation in the design stage? Does it include a way to manage historical unit costs?
Absolutely. It has a complete product catalog in it. And you can use your historical, you can create your new costing. It can have different unit of measures. It can have different pricing.
Mhm.
So it has the whole costing model in there that you can use for your estimation. And it can definitely be used across that stage.
And can that be used? That'll be used. The historical data will be. Can that be based on who the client is? Let's just say, for example, I mean, we run into this problem too, as an engineering firm where we have repeat clients, maybe one in a specific region, one in another, and they want to kind of ask us about costs. And it's easy for us to get the cost of a piece of equipment from a vendor since we're getting the spec sheets from them, but it can actually kind of help estimate the total whole cost of installation, maybe the time it'll take the contractor as well, and we can kind of use that to tell them based on their past work that we've done for them.
Yes, it stores all of that information in there. So one thing I want to highlight here is if you're not using this platform for your projects, obviously you don't have the historical data, right?
Mhm.
Then you'll have to bulk load your historical data so that it could be leveraged for future work. So you can either do that, or if you just embrace it and start using it, then all of that data is in the platform. So whenever you get a new project, you can easily, it's very nice and easy, by the way, to filter on that information and say, show me all the previous projects. What was the estimate? What was the timeline? How many change orders we did? And based on that, you can give them information for the new project.
Gotcha. But clearly, yes, now I get your point in terms of submitting all the data. If it's not run through a Procore or some type of management platform, and we're just submitting plans and then someone's emailing us back RFIs, there's really no way to have
Yeah.
the data there to utilize.
What you can do is this platform allows you to upload most of the data via Excels.
Mhm.
It has an Excel kind of import engine. So you can just bring in that data through that Excel, and then that data becomes available to you for historical reference.
Okay. So it's really just how you gather the data, interpret it, because it would be tough for an engineer to tell a contractor how long it's going to take them if we didn't know, how long it took them in the past. So I think it's communication. I think
Yes,
first and foremost, you need to have communication pre-construction, during, and post in order to have this carry on to future projects. If there's a disconnect after, let's say, the permit's issued and the contractor just goes about their, goes their separate way, and that's where you wouldn't be able to kind of generate these answers.
absolutely. I see another question from Brian in the chat. So it says, can this be used by engineers for cost estimation in the design stage? Does it include a way to manage historical unit costs? I think you answered that.
Mhm.
And then another question is, can this be used by reviewing plans before they go out to? Yes, I think you already answered that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Okay. Um, s- general question regarding um, sales. In which other ways can AI assist in customer relationship and sales strategy better to cater to unique challenges uh, associated with each client? Is it, I can repeat that if that was too quick.
No, I can answer that. Use of AI within sales / customer relationship management is huge. This platform is built on dynamics. You can have it record your phone conversations with different prospects and customers, and it can do sentiment analysis
Mhm.
for you. And it can say, okay, this is the recording, and this is where the sentiment was positive in that conversation using AI. The sentiment was negative. How did the sentiment change over time? That's number one. Secondly, it can, like I mentioned, it can do forecasting for you. So for example, based on your customer relationship management and your sales, it can do a forecast, which is this is the amount of business you can anticipate coming in from your sales generation efforts. It can do that prediction for you. It has some scoring, AI-based lead scoring. So for example, let's say when you get to work on a bid, how do you determine the probability of you winning that bid?
Mhm.
It has certain scoring algorithms that leverage AI, and it can use those AI algorithms to be able to help you on which ones to pick so that you could kind of prioritize the amount of effort you want to spend on them. So it has a lot of those AI-based features in the sales module that can help you perform better as a sales organization.
Gotcha. Okay. Do we have any other questions at this point?
I don't think so.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you have any additional questions, do feel free to reach out to Ryan or Trish, and I'll be more than happy to respond back via email as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tab. Thank you to everyone else who's attended. I hope it was interesting and useful information for everyone. And happy holidays. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You have all of our information. We'd be happy to get back with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.